Hey everybody, Brent Touchstone here with Touchstone Pixels. We got some new Lightroom features that are pretty exciting, so I want to hop right into those today. And we are looking at color grading. It's available in the Lightroom Classic and the Lightroom Cloud. We'll be using the Cloud Edition here. I'm really excited about this because I do a lot of color grading in video. I really like these controls. I'm going to dive right on in here and show you what it can do. So I have 3 pictures with just a basic edit on them. I'm going to do the rest of this in the color grading and just show you how we can really give your image a certain look. For the first one here, we're going to go for a kind of monochrome look, colors that are similar side on the color wheel. We're just going to push all them into the midtones, shadows, and highlights. So let's just look at the controls here real quick. We've got midtones, shadows, highlights. We have a luminosity slider for each. Slide it to the left, it gets darker, to the right, it gets brighter. And then here we can control color saturation and the color. Double click on any of the words, shadows, midtones, highlights to reset. And then you also have the blending. This is kind of an intensity slider, so how much you want the effect to come through. And we have balance, which is, do we want to affect the shadows to the left or the highlights to the right more than the rest. I'm going to go ahead and reset all this here. You also have each one individually, shadows, midtones, highlights. I kind of prefer to have all 3 up. Still have all the controls available in the other settings. Blending and balance is global, so any effects you make under one panel will take effect on all of them. Then you have kind of a global adjustment here. So if we wanted to just give this whole thing a red tint, there we go. Then luminosity. Do we want to darken the whole image or brighten the whole image? Which I don't think I'll use that global adjustment a whole lot. I would prefer to do it here with all 3 midtone, shadows, highlights, where I can control the luminosity individually. So let's go ahead and do this same effect. I'm going to reset it here. But let's use all the sliders individually. So I'm going to push some reds in the midtones, reds in the shadows, and reds in the highlights. But I'm going to do it a little different. So in the midtones, let's leave it kind of right on red. And the highlights, let's bring it a little more towards orange. And in the shadows, let's bring it a little to magenta. And we're going to darken our shadows, darken our midtones, and kind of make the highlights pop. I'm going to take the saturation of midtones back a little bit. And there we go, we kind of pushed a monochromatic color scheme into here. There's before, there's after, real quick and easy. Let's say we wanted a cooler image, swing all this over to some blue tones. And I think for this one, I'm going to brighten the midtones up some, the highlights up a little more, and darken the shadows a little bit. And there we go. Once again, we pushed cool colors across the image. We have before and after. So you can see how easy it was just to get that monochromatic look here in the color grading tab. Let's go on to the next image. All right, this is from our Aces Wild short film. My wife took this picture, And I want to do a kind of split tone, complementary colors. Gonna go for your movie look, teal and orange. And we're gonna just dive on in. I want to push some teal into the shadows. Darken it up quite a bit. And in the highlights, I want to push some orange. And brighten those. And brighten our midtones. And midtones is kind of where the skin lies. You can see how much it's changing the skin there. Don't want to go too saturated. And I kind of want to put just a little bit of an orange look in there. Kind of like that for the Western feel. And let's see if we take our blending, we can really push the effect, or we can really dial it back. I'm going to push it up just a little bit. And for our balance, I want it balanced a little more towards the highlights, but then I want to take and adjust the shadows some more. And there we go, we got a nice teal and orange look. Just shut it off. There we go, before and after. So like I said, I'm really liking this color grading tab. It's just it's a welcome feature of the Lightroom. All right, we got one more image here. So for this, we're going to go for a Triad color scheme, and for that I'm going to use my color wheel. You can pick these up real cheap on Amazon. I'm going to put a link down below, but we want to use a triad of colors. So I just dial it in here on the red violet, which is the color of the flower, and we can see for the triad we got yellow, orange, and blue green. So we're going to dial those in. It's really going to make this image pop. So the midtones, I'm just going to push a little more saturation into that red violet. The shadows, I want to go for that kind of blue-green. And the highlights, I want to push in that yellow, yellow-orange. And we're going to take the shadows down. Take the highlights up. And drop the midtones down just a little bit. It's going to help make that flower pop because we're getting a separation in the highlights and the midtones on the flower. A little more on the yellow. And there we go. Did a Triad color scheme. Real quick and easy using color science to make our image pop. We have before and after. So really just to give your image that look that you want, rather than slapping on a lookup table, you can come in here and color grade and get it done real quick and easy and have something that is your own professional look. All right, that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss any videos in the future. Till next time.